Hello, YouTube. Welcome to another exciting episode of Simon Says Wrestling. And today we're just going to be going through a review of Friday Night Smackdown. And given the fact that I haven't been uploading in a while, it just always seems like I'm just a Friday Night Smackdown kind of guy. Keeping a 9 to 5 and trying to obviously review these shows can get a bit hectic. Not even a bit, like it's really hectic. But as always, subscribe to the channel, like the videos, share, and keep the notification bell on for when we do upload and go through everything that is WWE right now. Currently, the WWE is in its European tour, and they're hosting most of the shows in Europe. The one thing that I want to shout out is the crowds in Europe. The guys are enjoying the shows fully, enjoying the shows to the fullest. And if Triple H can see this video, we're available in Africa, my man. We're available in Africa, South Africa to be specific, so you guys can pull through. We won't disappoint. I'm sure the crowds this side will be so flipping fantastic. But yeah, Friday Night Smackdown. A lot to unpack, a lot to unravel. Not a lot of storyline continuations going on at this point in time. We're just having, I believe, at sometimes repetitive matches that we're getting going forward. Obviously, some storyline progressions here and there, but at the end of the day, it's WrestleMania season, so obviously, the big matches, the big superstars are gonna have the spotlight shone on them at this point in time. And SmackDown obviously was in Italy, and they kicked the show off with Randy Orton, who came out and basically explained. Well, he didn't even get a chance to speak before he could even speak. Kevin Owens came out. The one thing that I want to shout out Kevin Owens for was actually that he came out and said that he was wrong. He let his emotions get the best of him, and he would just like for him and Randy to win the tag team titles. But Randy Orton is in his 09 bag, which Wade Barrett mentioned today. And if you weren't familiar with 2009 Randy Orton, ladies and gentlemen, I'm surprised Wade Barrett isn't cancelled on the spot at that time, because Randy Orton in 2009 was committing some of the most heinous human crimes that you could ever think of. And given the fact that we didn't have that much knowledge of what was going on in the brand at the time, given what Randy Orton was doing in 2009, Wade Barrett should have been cancelled off of the TV, because if you do your research and actually find out what he was doing in 2009, Randy Orton he should have been locked up. He should have been locked up. And given the fact that we didn't have that much background as to what was going on in WWE at the time, we didn't have dead sheets. Well, they were dead sheets, but we weren't following it like that, because at some point we were watching wrestling strictly for entertainment purposes. We understood there were bad guys and good guys, but Randy Orton was off of the leash in 2009. So it seems like we are getting Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. Should make for a banger match. Obviously, these guys at this point in time, more especially Kevin Owens, with his in-ring work at this point in time, is performing at a phenomenal pace, and he's been having some great matches recently. Whether it's from Cody to Sami Zayn, and obviously with Randy Orton, I think Kevin Owens is in his bag in this point in time, and he's performing at a very, very phenomenal pace. So obviously, we get the segment with Randy Orton just telling Kevin Owens that the voices are back in his head, and he's gonna kick Kevin Owens' head clean off of his shoulders. So what I like about this feud, obviously not with just the feud, it's with Kevin Owens in itself. They've taken a move that was considered dangerous and made it dangerous, actually, given the fact that now that if a wrestler uses that move, injury can occur. It's not just used as a move where you can do it in the middle of a match and just have someone kick out of it, which I think maybe might happen. Randy Orton, if you remember correctly, his punt was at some stage deemed too dangerous to be used. So I'm thinking now it's just a war of the most deadliest move to just kill the other guy. They just at this point in time, it just looks like these guys are just gonna kill each other. But it should make for a great match. And with Randy Orton obviously as the face and Kevin Owens as the heel, I don't. Well, it would be cool to see Randy Orton use that move, but given that he was using this move so often when he was more of a heel than he was a babyface, I think the only time he did use it as a when he was transitioning from a heel to a babyface was with the new Nexus, obviously with CM Punk as the leader at the time, and he was taking out the new Nexus one by one with that particular move. They also allowed him to use it back in the COVID era when he was taking out legends. And for some weird reason, everyone that he kicked in the head wind up in another company at the time. So it was crazy to see at the time. So it's going to be a great match. Obviously, um, it's going to be the pop-up power driver versus the punt at this point in time. The RKO versus the stunner. So it's going to be a fantastic match. For me, it's almost like a mix of new generation versus old generation in a way, but it should make for a great match at this point in time. We also had some decent matches on the show this time. We had Damian Priest teaming up with Jimmy Uso to take on Shinsuke Nakamura and obviously Drew McIntyre. We're trying to push the story for Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest going into WrestleMania. So obviously we're gonna have to build up, we're gonna have to get them layered, we're gonna have to find out some personal animosity between the two. And obviously with Drew McIntyre attacking Damian Priest on a weekly basis, it should build into all of that. Shinsuke recently having lost the United States champion to LA Knight. Yeah, it seems like he's still trying to find his feet, I think, into his new character. Obviously, having lost the title, he's gonna go into tag team matches, single matches. We'll see what we have in store for Shinsuke Nakamura. But he did lose a family member, and I don't know if I have mentioned this before. I might have tweeted it out, but condolences, or maybe I did say it in the previous video, but condolences to Shinsuke Nakamura and obviously his family going through all of that. And it's interesting to see as to what angle is going to be taken with Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. Because obviously these guys, two big guys, like I said in my previous video, two big guys who should be putting on a great match, because either way they are main event caliber talent. So it's going to be interesting to see as the weeks progress as to what the story is going forward. We got another Braun Breaker versus Jacob Fatu, not Braun Breaker, Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu. Obviously, these two behemoths are still fighting to see who's the better one. But at this point in time, I'm just going to start asking, how many times are we going to see this match? It's not more the match that progresses the story. It's more what happens after these matches between Jacob Fatu and Solo. And obviously, you can see the tension between the three gentlemen. And we still don't have a name for the group. So obviously, just write in the comment section what you guys think this group should be called, but it doesn't look like it's gonna last long enough to be named at this point in time, given the friction that's going on between Solo and Jacob. And I'm starting to wonder, are we gonna have a Solo Sikoa versus Jacob match at WrestleMania? Is that what we're heading for with the split happening between the two? Who's gonna be the babyface? Who's gonna be the heel? And obviously, with the way that Jacob Fatu is so over with the crowd, it's hard to bet against the guy at this point in time because he is on fire. His promos are always on point. His in-ring ability can't be matched by somebody who's the same size as him at this point in time. So it'll be interesting to see what cracks start to show in the group. Obviously, week in, week out, he's been having more tensions and more fight with Solo Sikoa. So does that mean we're getting Solo versus Jacob at WrestleMania? I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't mind watching that kind of match. And obviously, with everything that's been going on between the two, what then happens when the rest of the group comes back? Obviously, we know since War Games, is it Tamatanga or is it Tangaloa? I think it's Tangaloa. He's been out, obviously, and he's still part of the group. So obviously, it'll be interesting to see what happens when he does come back. And we're just waiting for storyline progression at this point in time. But it seems like the friction between Solo and Jacob is just boiling up on a weekly basis. On a weekly basis, it seems to be getting worse and worse at this point in time. We also got some women's action tonight, which was between Zelina Vega and Pepper Niven. Obviously, um, I- what are we doing with Zelina? Zelina at this point, and I haven't seen Andrade in a while because my idea was that with Zelina getting traded to SmackDown, she would be paired with Andrade, who I haven't seen in a while. Maybe he's also dealing with some personal issues that he's sorting out at this point because I think he recently got divorced with Charlotte Flair. So I don't know, maybe he needed some time to get into a correct headspace to come back into the game. But with the draft that had taken place, I was excited to see Zelina maybe team up with Andrade once again, or maybe that's the plan for after WrestleMania. It will be awesome to see as if they can match them back together. Obviously, with Piper having won this match because of outside interference with Chelsea Green and the new security, the cabinet members, um, Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton. Yeah, nah, this was a hard one to watch. I don't know, but it's always been for me the longest of time with anything that has Charlotte Flair inside with the promo battle between another superstar always seemed so awkward for me. I don't know whether the problem is that people don't want to work with her or she just doesn't want to work with other people because I remember also a segment between Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch when they had to swap titles and it was the most awkward interaction that I had seen in a while. Also with this, I can maybe just shout out the fact that Charlotte in this one ate up Tiffany Tai. She ate up Tiffy and it looked so embarrassing. It looked like they had taken a goldfish and just told the goldfish just go swim with the sharks, see if you can survive. And Charlotte just ate her up. Charlotte just made her look as if like she was a trainee or an apprentice into the game of obviously going into main events, and it was so bad. I honestly I don't have a I don't have an issue with Tiffany being a babyface, but it doesn't match the energy that she came into the industry with. Tiffy was always better than everyone else. Tiffy looked down on everyone and didn't care what anyone had to say. This whole sob story that she's been giving us, and then she's been trying to get at an angle to be a babyface. It's just not working for me. Tiffy was great as a heel. And once again, I understand because we can't have two heels. Well, we can, but it's not traditional to have two heels going into Mania and then trying to obviously fight over a championship. But Tiffy looked bad in this one. Tiffy looked way, 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 way bad. And I just hope we don't squash her because Charlotte Flair is the biggest name that she's not actually the biggest name. She's the most accomplished according to accolades. So it'll be very interesting to see how this match pans out. Honestly, I don't want Tiffy's title run to be cut short. I just hope that at this point in time she can maybe start getting into gear where she starts standing up to Charlotte, because with the past couple of weeks she's been looking pretty bad against Charlotte. It looks like she's almost getting it's almost like she's getting ridden off the rails. Like it almost looks like Charlotte Flair has her number to such an extent that you would start to believe that she's gonna lose her title. But I guess it's when we start thinking that someone is actually gonna lose that winning makes it even that much better. For me personally, I would love to see Tiffy retain at Mania, but I would also understand why she would lose at Mania. So it would be an interesting thing to see. And this week we also got a segment with the Street Profits coming out and debuting a new theme song. Holy sweet mother of Jesus. They're all sounding the same. They're all sounding the same. All these theme songs are sounding the same. It's almost like what was wrong with their first theme song? What was wrong with their first theme song? And it's just, why are we changing theme songs? Why are we... I did mention that this is a big issue in the WWE, that we're having a theme song issue, and it's not getting any better. It's not getting any better. It's getting flipping worse every single day of the week. It just gets worse and worse. And it's gonna be hard to identify superstars because at some point it's almost like the hip hop tracks of today. Once the track comes on, you have to go, oh wait, let me just wait for the artist's name to pop up. Then I'll react. Like there's no more originality. Oh, like when we were growing up, I didn't even have to wait 5 seconds to recognize whose theme song it was. With these theme songs, I have to wait for the person to come out and see the Titantron and say, oh shit, it's Street Profits. Oh, okay, cool. Oh shit, it's Logan Paul. It's Jade Cargill. It's Moto CD Machine Guns. It's getting repetitive. There's only a few superstars who have theme songs that just stick out at this point in time and that I can name at the top of my head. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Jey Uso. Jimmy Uso has a sort of like, the Braun Strowman also has a distinctive one. LA Knight has a distinctive one. But when it comes to everything else, it just feels so flippin' repetitive. It feels like they just looped one song and just put in lyrics that I can't even make out what they're saying. I can't even make out what the Street Profits theme song is about. I don't know. Maybe I'm complaining too much. I don't know. But yeah, it's just, I don't know who the current music. I actually do. It's Death Rebel. Because everyone just says it on Twitter or on X. They've been Death Rebel. At this point in time, it's just another generic theme song that we can. And it's not that we're judging it too fast, but we can already feel that it's just the same as any other theme song that we've had so far on the show. And holy shit, it's just a mess. Naomi is finally giving into her bad girl heel vibes. She was wearing an interesting outfit, obviously with a tape all over her, which basically just, I think it's what is it, like a police line, do not cross, proceed with caution type vibe. And she's doing way better than I thought she would. She's killing this whole heel, and it's gonna be interesting to see how she tackles this whole Jade Cargill issue, and then going forward, how do we bind back Bianca Belair into the story? Because obviously, with what Naomi had said in the previous weeks, calling Bianca an ungrateful bitch, she obviously has to then explain to us why she would call her that. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens and when it happens and how it happens. But it's going to be an interesting one. I don't know. It feels like I said in my previous videos. Are we getting a triple threat mania? It's starting to feel like a triple threat mania. It's starting to feel like a triple threat mania, but it's WrestleMania. Let's go crazy. Let's have matches that would obviously bring out the superstars and bring out the best in each other. But my biggest fear is that we might be having a triple threat situation that's a bit crazy for the show. But at the end of the day, let's just ride it out, see how, if Naomi and Jade will be carried into Mania, or will Bianca Belair be pushed into the story at a later stage, or we're just going to keep it Naomi and Jade, and we're just going to have Bianca focusing on Io Sky and obviously now her Rhea Ripley problem. And yeah, basically that just sums up Smackdown, and we had one of the most explosive, I think, 3 of the biggest superstars in the WWE at the moment closing off Smackdown today, which was Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. Obviously, Seth and Roman will always have a connection that always brings them back together to each other at this point in time, because their bond is obviously solidified in the fact that they were in a group, and obviously Seth Rollins having turned their back on the group, namely the Shield. what's interesting is that although we're missing one member of the Shield was actually an idea that came from CM Punk. So it's interesting to see how two of these guys from the Shield are now facing the person that came up with the idea for the Shield. And it's always the small hints that are left, the breadcrumbs that are left by the WWE. And obviously with CM Punk in this whole segment when he said, obviously I would be calling in for that favor, but not now. And you could see the stress and the frustration on Paul Heyman's face saying not now. So it then gets me to a point where I'm starting to ask and question, what is this favor? Is this favor then to betray Roman Reigns, or is this a favor that gets Punk the upper hand in something somewhere? It obviously builds the story to the fact that what is this favor? You can comment below in the video. Just let me know what you think the favor is between CM Punk and Paul Heyman. Let us know. Let me know what you think this favor is. Does it in any way mean that Paul Heyman will be turning on Roman Reigns, or will it just be placed in a point where CM Punk can get the upper hand and maybe trying to main event Wrestlemania, because we all know it's been his long life dream. And I feel after what happened this week, we might have the main event for either night 1 or night 2. But for me, I think the main event for night 1 will definitely be CM Punk versus Roman Reigns versus who's this? Seth freaking Rollins. So obviously it's gonna be great to see. I just want to see on the WrestleMania 41 card which matches have already been confirmed and which ones that we think will be taking, obviously, going forward. Just let me just see here. And apparently the WWE is hosting a roast for WrestleMania, so that should be interesting to see. And obviously we will maybe tune in, see what will be going on. I'm hoping to stream live on the night of WrestleMania. I just gotta familiarize myself with this live shindig, and I just see if I can go through this whole thing and stream it live, obviously, if the Wi-Fi can hold us, and then we'll obviously go through and react through everything that's happening on that. It's gonna be very, 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 very late in South Africa, because obviously it plays at about 3 a.m. So obviously, I don't know, I'm thinking of just maybe inviting a couple of guys over to the house, set up a camera, set up lighting, watch the show together. If you guys are interested, let me know. Like the video, just comment, and if you'd be interested in something like that, you guys can come through and then we can have. So yeah, I've got these matches. I've got 6 confirmed so far. Obviously, we've got Cody Rhodes versus John Cena, which I think is going to be the main event for night 2. We've got Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. We've got Gunther versus Jey Uso. We've got Io Sky versus Bianca Belair. And obviously, we have a Rhea Ripley problem now. We've got Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. We've got Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. So we'll see, obviously, going forward, what that entitles for everyone and what we're going to have. It's going to be an interesting week. It's going to be a great week to go through WrestleMania, and it'll obviously be my first live stream. I'll try, obviously, live streaming before that, just to get a hang of everything, just so everything goes smoothly. And then obviously it's gonna be a big mania. The fact that we were at some point starting to doubt Triple H. Now we're just going, hey, cook, my man, cook. We're here for the hot pot. Cook. But at the end of the day, it's always great to interact with many of you guys. We're currently on 19 subscribers. I think, yeah, I'm on 19. Yeah, that's great. So the road to 50. I've watched so many YouTube reaction videos that I think maybe speaking it into existence will have us going a bit forward. But now we're going to the road to 50. So if we can get to 50 subscribers by at least mid-April at this point in time, just please comment, like, share the video. Let me know what your predictions are. What other matches would you like to see on this? Obviously, I've added my little 2 cents with obviously Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sokoa. That will be an interesting one to see in Mania. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great mania. It looks great. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for guys for liking the videos, viewing the videos, and sharing them. Means a whole lot. Means a whole lot. And like I said, at the end of the day, it's just to get the market in South Africa familiarized with the WWE. And as much as I'm lacking so badly in uploading as of late, it sucks. I need to start putting in more effort. I seriously need to start putting in more effort. But yeah, you can follow me. I'm gonna put in the link to my X profile in the description. I'm gonna put I also started up a Spotify. So obviously it will be interesting. I uploaded a few takes from my side on Spotify, and it's all at Simon Says Wrestling. Um, Downloaded Instagram, downloaded a TikTok. So obviously I'm gonna be catching up and then just doing a bit more on that side, just to post more content to familiarize and get more people involved in this channel, and then obviously make it grow, help it grow. The road to 50, at least mid-April, and I'll try to upload more. And as always, guys, thank you so much. Just don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the channel. Thank you so much for the support, and as always, love and peace.